some challenging transactions that we've been involved with recently, and why it's so important to think outside of the box. So the first one is a property that I had listed a few months back that was honestly way overpriced for the market and for the condition. But the seller had to have a certain amount. They had to have $350,000 for the house, or they weren't going to sell it. And every single offer we were getting in was between $300,000 and $320,000. So we were really, really far off, and they weren't willing to put any money into the house or do any more work. So it just sat there. It sat there for 5 months straight. And I get a call from the seller one day after about 5.5 months, and she's like, if the house doesn't sell in the next couple of weeks, we're taking it off the market, and we're just not going to sell it now. And I thought, okay, so let me think about this. Let me put my thinking cap on, think outside of the box, and figure out how we can get this done. The seller financing the property. They're financing the sale of the property and taking terms instead of selling it outright and getting cash at closing. They're getting a down payment. They're becoming the bank. They're getting a down payment. They're getting an interest rate, and they are taking the property on a note instead of getting all the cash out. And I thought this would be a good scenario to run by the seller. And because I had developed a relationship with them already, and they trusted me, and they listened to the advice that I give them, they heard me out. They listened to my advice, and I explained the seller financing terms. And because of my incredible network of investor buyers, I was able to connect an investor buyer that is very savvy with seller financing. Shout out to Philip Loudon and Tanner Bagley. They were the people that purchased this property. We were able to explain this scenario to the seller. And because Philip and Tanner are so experienced at working these type of transactions, we were all able to get on the phone and explain it and come to a term that not only worked for the buyers, Tanner and Philip, but also worked for the seller. So in a market where the seller was not getting anywhere close to $350,000, they were able to offer, because of the term that we all agreed on, full amount for the property. So we came to an agreement on $350,000. The seller took it on a term. It's a 30-year note, and the sellers are real happy with the way that it came out. And as a bonus, because of the interest rate that they are paying to the seller, she's actually getting more than $350,000. When it's all said and done, she may get $10,000, $20,000 more than that over time. So they were ecstatic. They are extremely happy about the outcome of that property. And if it wasn't for me and my team thinking outside of the box, trying to find a way that would work for them, they would have just taken the house off the market. The seller would be dissatisfied with us for not selling their house. We would not have a closing or a seller that thought that we were doing our job. And the buyer wouldn't have had a great deal to purchase.